A few things we need to learn about deadlifting for the proper setup. We need a good weight belt. It helps keep your core in line. It can stabilize your lower back to make sure you're not recruiting too much and pulling on that. But also, you notice I'm not wearing any shoes. My reasoning behind that is if I had a mattress underneath my feet and I'm trying to pick up something heavy, I have to push my body weight through the mattress to get the leverage to get the weight up. So for me, same thing with shoes, running shoes, sneakers. I have to push the cushioning down before I can actually get leverage. And that's energy exertion I'm pushing down that I don't want to dispense just to lift the bar up. So for me, I don't use shoes. For my grip, sometimes if I get really going heavy, then I'll use some chalk or I'll use some supportive straps. But usually, I just use chalk and just my regular grip. My weight belt, loose fitting clothing for my waist. I don't like anything too constrictive. I know a lot of power lifters enjoy wearing those onesies. Not for me. Be safe. How to do a proper deadlift. I really enjoy deadlifts. It helps strengthen my whole body, I feel. As you're holding the bar, you're flexing your entire forearm, your bicep, your tricep is more stabilized. As you're holding that motion, as you're flexing your core, you can also utilize the weight belt as you push against it and push outward. Then also, of course, you're going to use your back as you extend the bar upward, but also the deadlift is more of a press, whereas you're pressing the ground away from you. So as you have the bar, you're going to stand up, but you're holding the bar pressing almost like a squat, and then your lower back. So we're recruiting muscles from our calves, our hamstrings, our quads, your gluteus maximus, your stomach as I had mentioned, and your chest. When you contract that, you can really feel the stabilization and the control for your arms to hold that weight. And also, it'll help strengthen your hands. And with those hands, it'll help stabilize your wrists, to interlock with the tendons in your forearms, to help stabilize. I'm a big fan of everyone doing deadlifts. I have a sister I try to convince to get into some weightlifting. Just general overall fitness, I think deadlifting is a good tool to be utilized. There's two different stances that we can use doing a deadlift. One is called a sumo deadlift, where it's a wider grip, a wider stance, and it is kind of an easier way because technically you're not lifting the bar as far off the ground. If I'm coming right here, all you do is stand up. And with my legs, it brings my torso closer to the ground. So I come out all the way over here, grab my bar, and I can come up. The only reason I don't like the sumo deadlift is for me personally, anatomically, it hurts. For my hip flexors on the outside and on the inside, it just hurts me too bad. I like the traditional deadlift, whereas it's a natural standing position with your feet is with your shoulder width, and then your hands will just come just barely outside. You don't want it too far out because that turns into a snatch grip, and that's not what we're going for. Just a traditional deadlift. You don't want too close to your body because then you run into grabbing your clothes. So to get a good grip, it should feel natural. And also notice one of my palms is facing inward, one of my palms is facing back behind me. And that is pure for technique, for personal preference. So for me, I get my shoulder width apart, one hand, my right dominant hand, takes my palm facing away from me. Then my non-dominant hand, my palm will be facing behind me. Now notice my neck, how it's in line with my spine. If you crank too much, then you get into some really bad tendon issues and you can really damage your spine and your neck. Notice also my back is straight, and I'm not going to be using my lower back at all for the first movement. All you're doing is standing up like a squat, and then the lower back. There's a deadlift called a Romanian deadlift, where it's also good for your lower back specifically, that helps tighten your hamstrings. And that is basically the non-correct way for a deadlift. Well, it does help your lower back. What we're trying to do is maximal body effort to pick up the maximum amount of weight off the ground. Shoulder stands width apart. Walk onto the bar, spine in line, and it's going to be a press as we pull the weight from a squat and then the lower back. I hope you enjoy deadlifting. Be safe.